everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca if we have never met before, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about plant stuff and we do plant things together, and I'm a plant lady, of course, I love it. So today we're going to be doing some plant chores together. I have a full list of some things that need to get done, and I'm excited to do them together. So let's read off this list and see what needs to be done. First, I need to repot my baby Thai constellation. Second, I need to make a moss pole for my baby Thai constellation. Third, I need to repot one of my Hoyas, which I'm not sure I'm actually going to get to that. I need to repot an Adansonii. You know, I've got some repotting to do, and I don't really feel like fully committing to doing a full repotting sesh because I'm kind of in a pinch for time. That is what I have to do today. I think that I'll mostly be making moss poles and repotting my Thai constellation. I don't know if I'll get to the other repotting stuff. Let me back up the camera a little bit because I just realized you can't see my workspace. How's that? That's a little bit better. All right, I'm not sure how the focus is going to be in this video because I'm using my ring light to light up the room because it's about 5:20 and I don't usually film this late. I'm more of a night owl, if we're being honest, and I'm so much more productive in the evening time. I don't know, we're gonna see how this goes. It might be a dark video, or it could be a really cool, moody video. That is also another option. All right, so this product I've got here is a repotting mat, and it is very large and in charge, and I'm so glad that I have it. I will definitely be giving details about this a little bit later. I am right now in the testing phase of this product, and I really, really like it, so definitely stay tuned if you are intrigued by this. So in this bucket here, I have some sphagnum moss. I've had it in here for a little while and it's lasted me a really long time, which is very happy. And so today I'm going to be making first a little moss pole. And this is a new technique that I haven't shown on my channel before because, well, it wasn't my idea, and also I've shown a lot of moss pole creations in the past, and so I don't want to be redundant with my content. But this is another way that I have learned to make a moss pole, and it is by using this. I'm not sure if that sound is going to go away. So this method of moss poling is basically using this kind of clear sheer mesh and stuffing it with sphagnum moss, you know, pretty classic way of making a moss pole, and then tying it all up with some twine. So super easy way to make a moss pole. I really like it. But the thing is about sphagnum moss is it dries out so fast. It's very disappointing, but especially where I live, it's just very dry. So things dry up pretty quickly. With all that being said, I do have to go around and moisten the poles quite often, which I don't particularly enjoy. So yeah, I'm just cutting out a section here, and there's my piece. So my moss pole is going to be about that long. And what I need next is a bamboo stake, which I did not bring over here, so I'm going to go grab that. Okay. So I have this piece, which should be long enough. So I asked you guys on Instagram, Daniel! What? I'm filming a video. Like, are you live? I'm not live, but I'm filming a video. All right, so put that in there. Don't put it in there? Don't put it in there. So I asked you guys for some topics of conversation while I'm doing this. And something that I thought was interesting was countries I'd like to visit, and is there ever a chance that I'll do a meet and greet? So there are a lot of places that I would like to visit. I have quite the traveler's heart, as I've discussed in the past. I would say number one, I'm always wanting to go back to Italy, always. Italy has my heart. So the person that suggested this topic is actually from Portugal, which is another place I would really like to visit. I think Portugal and Spain would be a really fun trip. I also think that it would be really great to visit somewhere like Norway or Finland, just somewhere like really cold and like way north so that I can see the northern lights. I have seen them before, but it wasn't as bright as it could have been. But I did see northern lights. I got engaged under northern lights, actually. More than anything, I just really like the idea of being able to see the stars so well. I definitely am a little bit lucky because Tucson is a larger city, yet it is a city that has a really big initiative to kind of limit light pollution. I would really like to see more of Greece. I mean, when I was there, I went to Santorini and that was it. Island hopping in Greece in general would be so cool. So that's a little bit of a taste of where I would like to go. And then the second part of the conversation topic was meet and greets. And I think that I would definitely be open to doing a meet and greet. It feels like a weird thing to do, but I'm definitely open to it because I would like for you guys to meet each other. That would be my big motivation in it all. Right now, I am stuffing this tiny moss pole. It's really little, and I'm going to just put a nice layer of sphagnum moss in it, and then once I feel like it's full enough, I will pull this layer over tight, and you probably can't even really see that just because it is clear, but I really like this method of making a moss pole. It is by a woman named Vivian on Instagram, and so she has like a whole highlight bubble telling us how to make it, and so I just followed her highlight bubble, and I purchased all the items from her Amazon storefront. So definitely will have her information linked in the description box so that you can watch her tutorial. Something that I'm noticing with my plants specifically is a lot of them that have been on moss poles for a while are starting to respond to the pole and starting to interact with it. The roots are starting to get into the pole and grow and kind of anchor themselves. So that is just really, really awesome. And another account with like really awesome moss pole inspiration. I don't know why I've suddenly made this a moss pole video, but another account with really awesome moss pole inspiration is Craig something. I forgot exactly what his Instagram is, but I'll put some screenshots from his feed. His plants are so incredible and big and mature, and I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that he is like a really big advocate for moss poles. As I am maturing as a plant parent, I'm noticing that I am kind of going away from having trailing plants and am much more interested in having like taller plants, because I kind of just want them to grow how they would grow in nature. And I mean, obviously a lot of the time they do trail down, but more often than not, they are trailing and they are climbing. Giving your plants something to climb up will help them achieve that look that they would in nature a lot faster. So yeah, if you are interested in that sort of a thing, definitely invest in moss poles if you don't want to make them, or look into ways that you can make them really easily. Okay, who taught / motivated you to DIY, and will I ever start selling crafts? My mom is and has always been a very, very crafty woman, and I don't know, I think that she gets it from her mom. I think it's just like we've passed it down like from woman to woman. I grew up around it. My mom made my Halloween costumes growing up. I remember I have like very vivid memories as a child seeing my mom just getting so frustrated with the sewing machine, and poor woman, like I now understand why she was so frustrated. But she also had a like super vintage machine that has been in our family for a long time, and I think it actually sits in her garage now, and maybe someday I will inherit the sewing machine. So that is where I get it from, I believe, and I really, really think that everything I've learned in like just being able to DIY things and make things for yourself is one of the most valuable things in life. Being able to fix things on your own, being able to sew back on a button or fix the hem on a dress will just save you so much money in the end. I actually had never heard of people actually hiring a tailor to like fix their clothes, because growing up, I just fixed them myself, or my mom did. Sometimes I'll see people on YouTube thrifting and stuff like that, and they talk about how they're going to send a clothing piece to a tailor so that the tailor can make it smaller or shorten it or something like that, which is just very funny because that has never ever been something that was on my radar. So I did actually use a tailor for my wedding dress, and with the things that she did, I feel like I could have done it myself, but that would have been really stressful to add on top of everything else I was having to do. So I went to someone else professionally, and I'm really glad that I did, because also like it was done right. And I'm obviously not a professional tailor, so I didn't want to cut into my very nice wedding dress and ruin it. So yeah, that would be kind of my DIY history. The next question in that was, will I ever sell my makes and things like that? And I think that I probably will not ever sell things that I make, because when you work a full-time job and you have a YouTube channel and all these other things, your free time is extremely limited. Like, I don't ever want to be someone who just like boasts about being busy. But I will say that I don't have a ton of spare time at the end of the day. And if I do, I don't really want to make something for someone else, you know? So whenever people ask me to like fix their clothes or things like that, it's just kind of like, I don't even have time to sew for myself. So I don't really want to sew for you. You know what I mean? I want that time to be for me, which probably sounds selfish, but I don't feel selfish saying that because I need my crafty time for myself. This moss pole is all done. You can see it is just a lovely sphagnum moss brown. You can see this. Hopefully the camera will focus. I'm going to put this off to the side and repot my baby Thai. All right, here she is. And you can see, maybe, nope, you can't see, I'm just dropping stuff on the floor. But there are roots popping out the bottom. And I'm going to be repotting it into this clear pot because I actually really like these a lot. I always have them linked in my Amazon storefront down below. I originally heard about these from Kaylee Ellen, and she had a UK link. And so I went out and on Amazon and I found these. And these are basically clear orchid pots. And they have a lot of air flow because there's so many holes in them and drainage at the bottom. And so with all of that, it's just the perfect pot. And I really like the clear look of it. If you don't like the clear look of these, you can definitely put it in a cash po. Okay, so a common question that I'm seeing on my, my question box here is, when do you know to repot a plant? And you know to repot a plant when you are seeing the roots poking out the bottom. You can also sometimes tell if the growth is just kind of stunted, like it's not really growing at all. And that is even if you are fertilizing and like doing everything that you need to do to get it to grow and it's still not doing anything, it might need a bigger pot. This baby does not want to come out of here. Oh my! Look at that. Can you see how beautiful is that root system? Wow. It's a little root bound, but that's all right. So when I first got this plant, I was very nervous and aware of the fact that Thai constellation has a tendency to struggle with root rot. So I was extremely diligent about keeping it in a small pot so that there wasn't an excess of soil. And so it filled up that pot pretty quickly. I think I got this plant in May and it's only February and it already needs a repot, which I think is, honestly, that's pretty soon in terms of how quickly plants grow. So this fits very well in here. So what I'm going to do is now just pop in this moss pole, and the moss pole is kind of short in comparison to the plant. But the thing is with this kind of stuff is the aerial roots on the plant are only to about like right here. So I'm not really concerned that this is going to be an issue at all. That is how you know when you need to repot, is when you see the roots poking out the bottom, the growth is stunted. Also, sometimes the plant can just like start yellowing its leaves off. This is not, of course, like a hard and fast rule, but plants could be repotted about once a year. If you keep the plant in tight pots as you pot it up and up, it will need to be repotted more often. Naturally, that just makes sense. So with this plant right here, I knew that it was in a pot that was kind of snug already because like the root rot thing, like I mentioned. So if you know that about your plants, like you know that you put it in a small-ish pot, it will need to be repotted faster. So also just like knowing the history of your plant will help you know when it needs to be repotted, and if you like know how that plant acts day to day or typically how it would grow, that helps out too. I feel like, what am I even talking about? I feel like I'm just talking right now. I think I'm gonna backfill just a little bit more. And as you can see, it's like very floppy. So what I'm going to do is bind these two together because I want to start training this plant to grow together and upright, because if you know me, you know that I hate monsteras that just kind of grow all over the place. So I definitely don't want that to be the case with this one. So I'm being very diligent about training it when it's young. In order to do that, I'm going to need some plant Velcro, and I'm gonna go get that right now. All right, plant Velcro acquired. So this is basically just a big roll of Velcro. And it's used a lot of the time for, the advertisement really showed it more in the outdoor gardening sections, like with tomatoes and grapes and things like that. But obviously you can use it for indoor plants, and it loves it. Like the Velcro has a mind of its own. The plants don't mind the Velcro, okay? So I'm putting it just kind of like loose enough, tight enough but loose enough in here, and so it will just hold. I have had some trouble in the past with plant ties and things like that kind of choking out my plants and becoming an issue later down the line, and I'm just trying to avoid that. So this is a lot more gentle on the plant's leaves, so that, or not the leaves, but the stems rather. And something that I'm going to show you right now is these leaves down here. You can see they're just kind of sticking straight out, and I don't want that. I want them to be closer up like this. So that is not going to happen right away. So what I'm going to do is cut just an extra long piece of this and wrap it around to where it feels like there's some tension, but not too much. And then as time goes, I will just tighten it more and more until everything is... I have no idea how long my camera wasn't recording, because I've been filming for over 30 minutes. It automatically turned off. As the branch kind of gets trained in, I will tighten that ever so slightly, maybe like once a week, and eventually it will all be laying against this tiny moss pole. So that is a repotted Thai constellation, and though I had plans to do much more in this video, I think that I'm going to leave it at that because I'm tired, and that was a lot, and I want to go do other things. So I hope that you understand. And I will definitely be making another plant chores video very soon so that we can do more things together. I hope that you enjoyed watching and hearing about a few things here and there and watching the process of making this moss pole and repotting this plant. I'm very excited to see how it grows. You can see here the roots are just kind of smashed up against the side there. So I'm excited to see it just sort of spread out in its new pot. And also another perk of these clear pots is you can kind of monitor the roots to see what's happening down in here. And so as a paranoid plant mother, I really like that assurance to know that my plant is doing okay all the way down to the roots. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more from me, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!